Yo, 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 it's your boy Joe.
This your boy Greg. We the co-pilots for Coast to Coast. We do the most. So what's your flight? Whatever it is, we got you covered.
And today, man, we doing our show episode 116, man. It's been a minute, man. We trying to stay at it. Just trying to stay on it, you know what I'm saying, on the show and doing these episodes, man. So, man, I'm glad Greg was able to get in today and do it, man. So how you day been though, bruh?
It's been straight, man. Just doing the orientation, man. I'm back up here in Nashville, man. So the day was a busy day. Been up since what about 5 o'clock this morning. Yeah. So which I'm used to getting up early anyways, but just been moving around. It been not busy but slow at the same time. If that makes sense.
I feel you though, man. I'm gonna move this all in the way. So But yeah, man. So let's get right into it though, man. We ain't gonna waste nobody's time, man. Let's go and get into it, man. Let's hey, the Super Bowl, man. Super Bowl at 60, man. Was it crack that or what it was supposed to be? A lot of people had their thoughts on it. I'm gonna let you take off on you, Greg, about you think about what Super Bowl and everything like that.
Yeah, I seen a lot of people say it was boring, things of that nature, but to me it wasn't boring. I mean, it was still interesting. I mean, of course, Seattle was the more dominant team, but at the same time, I mean, I was tuned in into the fourth quarter. You feel what I'm saying? Because it was moments in there where you thought that okay, the Patriots could stage a comeback because I mean we didn't see Patriots pull this off before, and so it was like, man, it kept me glued into the but when it got into the fourth quarter, when you kept seeing the turnovers, I said, well, it's over with. Um, but my thing is this, man. This is what I would say like a boring game when it's a sloppy game. The game wasn't a sloppy game, although it was a low scoring game. It lacked the excitement of the offense. Um, but my thing was this: it wasn't a sloppy game by the offense. It was a lot of good defense play. You gotta tilt your hat to the defense that played in the game and whatnot. I mean, they left no room for error for either team, and this was on both sides. So for me, man, it was an enjoyable game to watch. It kept me glued into the, now di- now could have been a closer game, like for us when you talking about the point margin. Yes, I wish it would have been a closer game and everything. I wish it would have came to the last drive, but unfortunately it didn't do that. So yeah, it could have been better, but it wasn't the worst game I seen. You get what I'm saying? I mean, I understand the criticism behind it, but I mean, it's not like it's the worst Super Bowl we've seen. We look at what we saw last year with Philadelphia, Philadelphia and Kansas City. Um, you give me the game any day, Seattle and the Patriots over what we saw last season. I mean, the game was pretty much over with in the second half. You know, um, take some of these games when you had Buffalo versus Dallas. Some of these games, even the Patriots versus the Rams. You know, that was a sloppy game. That was probably by far the worst Super Bowl that I probably done watched. You feel me? So I mean it wasn't the best, but it wasn't the worst neither.
Yeah, man, my thoughts on it, man. I thought it was a competitive Super Bowl as well, man. Watching it, I think for the most people that's not really like fans of the sport, they would probably say it's boring in my opinion because of the simple fact that when you look at this game, it was a defensive game. You know what I'm saying? And I think when you look at both what the teams and what they've done all year, I kind of felt like the game would go like this. You know what I'm saying? The way the Seahawks played, and then Drake May being such a young quarterback, man. You can't expect this guy to just play lights out every game. And then you can also just see throughout the playoffs when it came to Drake May, man, he struggled through the playoffs, man. I mean, you look at that first wild card game against the Chargers. He didn't do where he didn't do as much. And then when you look at uh the other games as well, man, even in the championship game, I mean, this Drake may struggle. So I mean, it wasn't a surprise to see him struggling in this Super Bowl, man. I just think that when you look at that, it was to be expected, man. So I think a lot of casual fans they like to see a lot of touchdowns and stuff like that. But I mean, hey, it's football, man. A win, man.
Right, right.
You know what I'm
But
saying?
uh, yeah, I think, man, like I say, man, when you got, man, you got to be able to win in the trenches, and that's what Seattle showed you. Being able to compete in the trenches. And another thing that stood out, man, and I've been screaming this all year, man. When you in close games like this, especially playoff football, take the points. And we seen in multiple scenarios, man, when Mike McDonald, he took the points. 3 points. Three led to 6 points. Six led to 9 points. Nine led into 12. You get what I'm saying? Then the touchdown came after that. So you was able to put your team in position to expand the lead. And and it also keep the opposing team from gaining momentum. When your defense stop a team on fourth down, man, you stop your team from gaining momentum. You get what I'm saying? And you also, like I say, man, and this some of the things, man, I wish a lot of coaches would do it. And it's like frustrating to watch, especially when it's your team. Some scenarios is understandable, but it seemed that, man, McDonald understood the importance of taking the points. Take what's given to you. You get what I'm saying?
Right,
Um, you're not going to always be in the most favorable situation, but you take advantage of the situation that's presented to you. You get what I'm saying? And you
right,
know that, man, you're dealing with two stingy defenses. You don't know if you're going to ever get a chance to go downfield again. So you take those 3 points. Even if the game ended in 3-0, you was able to put 3 points on the board. You get what I'm saying? You put your team in that position by taking the easy points, taking advantage of the opportunity that's presented to you. And I think that was something that um, McDonald did yesterday, man. It was something that simple that allowed his team to, you know, spread, what I'm saying, spread the lead, extend the lead. Because let's say, for example, you don't take those 3 points. You get what I'm saying? You in the refill as though you're in the red zone. Screw, we going for it. And you don't get it. I mean, there's a chance you can make it, but what about it if you don't make it? Then now you're digging yourself in the hole. Now you feel like as though you have to make up for those 3 points that you didn't get. So you go for it a second time, which we have seen teams do. And then before you know it, you be like, well, damn, I should have just went on ahead and took the 3 points each of these times. And by the time you get in field goal range for the third time, you look and say, well, damn, I could be up for 2 possessions. You get what I'm saying? Could be a two-possession game.
and you're right about that too, man. When you look at that, because Mike McDaniel's, man, we like you said throughout the playoffs, we've seen teams time and time again get gambling gritty. If he would have went for it, didn't get it both of those times, the dynamics of the game could have changed. Maybe Drake May, could have got something going in one of those possessions. But again, man, smart football, fundamentally sound, and when your defense is playing as good as that, you don't have to have your offense take those type of chances either. You know what I'm saying? So, I
Right.
mean, but I do want to ask you this, man. A lot of some people feel like the kicker should have got MVP. Do you think Kenneth Walker deserved it, or do you think the kicker
It's
should have got
nah, it's like you gotta understand this here, man. When you look at what Kenneth Walker was able to do, his running put him in position to kick those field goals. You get what I'm saying? Like, and I understand that you looking at the kicker, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, which I understand it, but at the same time, man, you cannot discredit what Kenneth Walker was able to do in the backfield. I mean, he was by far the most productive offensive player on the field the whole game. You get what I'm saying? Even better than Sam Darnold. You get what I'm saying? Sam Darnold, only thing he had to do was not lose the game. You know,
big facts? Big facts.
and so, like I say, man, you allow Kenneth Walker to continue to chew up yards, even those yards when he was gaining tough yards, 1 yard, two yards. That made it more, manageable on these third down conversions or whatnot. You get what I'm saying? So
Right.
all that count, man. You talking about the hard earned yards, man. You get what I'm saying? Like he was by far the best offensive player, on both sides, on both teams. So yeah, I think that before they even gave it to him, I was like, Kenneth Walker should be the MVP. Like, It's not even a question. I understand, the kicker kick 3 field goals or whatnot. I mean, that's cool. But you talking about somebody that's actually in the game, the whole game, getting, taking bumps and bruises. You talking about the person that had the most rushing yards since Terrell Davis, who by the way had Super Bowl MVP. So I think he had in total 160 yards from scrimmage. And it was times I thought they should have fed him the ball even more. He had like 80 yards in the first half. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, he did his thing, man. I ain't gonna lie. Kenneth Walker did his thing. I ain't gonna lie. You know, I thought they might have try to give it to Sam Darnold or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Try to give it to him. On some quarterback type shit. But Kenneth Walker did his thing, man, and he kind of showed that he was one of the best running backs in the league, and he actually been one of the more better running backs since he got drafted, man. The Seahawks has done a good job of putting some players in that on that team, bro. And one of the big acquisitions people don't talk about though. I felt like was when they signed D Law from the Cowboys, man. I thought that was a big acquisition that helped that front four they got, dog.
Oh, DeMarcus Lawrence. Oh,
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, he definitely.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But back to Kenneth Walker, man. He also, man, and watching him play right, he reminded me of another running back that came from out of Michigan State, Le'Veon Bell. If you pay
Oh
outside of
yeah, he better
outside of
play. Yeah,
outside of his ability, you know what I'm saying, his catching may not be as good coming out the backfield. He might not be as good of a blocker. But if you pay attention to his style of running, one of the things I put, even his stance in the backfield, he don't get in the 2 point stance. He pretty much stands up and he oversee the field or whatnot, and also his patience. That's the most important thing. You get what I'm saying?
right.
He's a very patient runner. Give him time to see these holes. But also with being patient, people forget this key element as well. You have to be able to have acceleration. You know, if you're not one of those players that can accelerate, man, and make those quick cuts, man, I mean, you can have all the patience in the backfield you want. It ain't gonna work. So I mean, so you also have to have the talent with patience. You know what I'm saying? And, which helps out with your vision in the backfield. So that was one of the things I noticed, man. Him back there, man, being able to see the field, he allowed the game to come to him, and he take what's out there. Now it was a lot of times, man, he missed holes that I saw. I say, man, if he hit that hole, that probably would have been a home run. But nevertheless, he was the Super Bowl MVP. So hats off to him.
Yeah, man. This team look good, man, and they got a lot of cap space, man. And this segue into our next topic. Our Jaguars, man.
Hold on, before we get in this, man,
Go ahead, go
could
ahead, go
we
ahead, go ahead, go
please
ahead.
stop comparing Sam Donald? It's like we're putting him in comparison with a lot of these other quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? I get it. He won the Super Bowl. He had a good season last year. You get what I'm saying? But
Right,
like, can we stop saying that he's better than a lot of these quarterbacks off of one Super Bowl win? I mean, I get it. In terms of greatness and whatnot, his name is solidified ahead of these guys in terms of greatness, things of that nature. But just talking about observing everything under the surface, saying that he's better than some of these other quarterbacks, I get it. He won the Super Bowl, but like, come on, man. It's like we do this with every quarterback. We did it with Jalen Hurts. We're doing it with him. You get what I'm saying? It's like the moment they win a Super Bowl or whatnot, we want to say they're better than this player and better than that player. And the players that we're comparing him to, or saying that he could be better than, you take those same guys and put them on that team, they repeat the same success. You know what I'm saying? And maybe even better. You're not going to tell me that he's better than Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, or, you know what I'm saying, or some of these other quarterbacks that's out there. You get what I'm saying? He's a good quarterback, but at the same time, man, you have to be consistent as well. It's a difference when you're the underdog and you're surprising a lot of teams and whatnot. Now you're the person that's being watched. You know what I'm saying? And same thing, we saw it with Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts he was impressive. He came off an impressive season. That whole team did. But we seen what happened the next year. The team was not as good, and it could have been cause they lost their offensive coordinator or whatever the case may be. But at the same time, man, now you have this team is not the hunter. They're the team that's being hunted now. You know what I'm saying? Teams are watching them and saying, "Listen, this is the team to beat." And we come at them. We got to bring our A game. So I mean, let's allow him to be more consistent first season by season before we can start comparing him to um saying I mean Matthew Stafford and these type of quarterbacks, man. You know what I'm saying? These quarterbacks are, to me, way more proven than Sam Darnold, man.
Hey man, you make a great point, man. Hey, I always think about Brad Johnson. Like people be saying can't say it is he greater than, I would say like Donovan McNabb during that time. We'll probably say no, because
Heck
Donovan
no.
McNabb was a better quarterback. But Brad Johnson got a Super Bowl. So it's like
Right.
I feel like Sam Darnold is in that same ilk of quarterbacks. He had a
Right.
good season, so I agree though, man.
See,
But
and then like sometimes, man, you gotta, like I say, man, it's all about that, and that's why I say in terms of greatness, and I always bring this up, and I don't know if people catch it when I say it when you talking about greatness, being great and being better. Greatness is always look at what's on the surface, but when you're talking about the better player, you always examine what's underneath the surface. Certain things that the normal fan would not catch. You did what I'm saying? Like what I point out always like let me see what can be a comparison or whatnot. Um you look at Emmett and Barry Sanders. Of course, Emmett is the greatest running back of all time. He got the accolades. He got 3 Super Bowl rings, a Super Bowl MVP. I think he may have a league MVP. You get what I'm saying? He have the rushing titles. He have the overall rushing title with the most yards of all time. You know, but how many people would say that Emmett was a better running back than Barry Sanders? And I'm an Emmett fan. And I would say, man, Barry Sanders was the better running back. You know what I'm saying? But Barry Sanders don't have the jury or whatnot. He may have rushing titles, but he don't have certain accolades that Emmett Smith have. But when you examine everything on the table, you're gonna see that, Emmett had the better team around him. So of course, he's going to have the longevity. He's going to have the Super Bowl rings and things of that nature. And it's the same with a lot of these quarterbacks. So that's my biggest issue with that. Yeah, in terms of greatness, yeah, you can say it, but when you're talking about who is the better player, that's a whole nother argument.
hey man, on that note, man, you nailed the coffin, dog. I don't even gotta say no more on that, man. So we gonna segue into the next topic, but this Seahawks team has a lot of cap space, and I think they
Right,
got like somewhere in projection around maybe $73 million in cap space. So
right.
they can build off of this roster what they have and be better and put more weapons around Sam Darnold. But speaking
Okay.
of that, and I was reading this ESPN article today, the way too early teams. They had Jacksonville at 9, ninth best odds, winning the Super Bowl. And then Vegas, they got them right now sitting at a 21 odds, man. And so, with that being said, you know, how you think the expectations going to free agency, and what you think about the odds favor of these Jazz team going into this next season.
Um, like I said, man, I like our chance. My biggest thing is this, man. I want to see if we're gonna be consistent. We came off a season like this here, man, on the Doug Peterson first year. Then the next season, we kind of fizzled out, even though we won 9 games that year. But at the same time, it was a step. We didn't make the playoff, and it was a step below, the standard that we had set the year prior. So I want to see that can I want to see can we be consistent, going into next season. That is my main thing, being consistent, being better because we seen in the second half of this season, we seen Trevor Lawrence was a a different quarterback than he was in the beginning of the season. It was night and day. In the beginning of the season, we was winning in spite of Trevor Lawrence quarterback play. But when you look at the second half of the season, we was winning because of how good Trevor Lawrence was playing, and not just him, the team as a whole. But when you look at the team like the Denver game, you know what I'm saying, and some of these other games when we was playing playoff caliber teams, we was winning because Trevor Lawrence showed up. If we would have seen the same Trevor from the first half, these games we would have lost these games. So he stepped up. So it's like, man, no way I want to see us take a step back next season. You get what I'm saying? The Colts, they probably can be a better team. Tennessee Titans, Houston. We have to watch out for these teams, man, and not just our division, the teams we play outside of it as well. You know, so I like I say, I like our chances because I like what I saw out of the coaching staff. You know, I don't think we have the most talented roster, but I think that we can make do with what we have. The players that we have, they fit the scheme. And I think that, man, with the chemistry, man, these guys can only get better. These guys can only get better, man. I would like to see our old line play a lot better. I think they played good. I like the signing of Cole Van Lannon. You know, but at the same time, I think that, man, like I say, man, I always want to see our old line get better. Forget how good we may have done last season. I always want to see the old line get better. You protect your assets.
Well, I agree with everything you said as far as what we want to see in consistency with the Jaguars. I think the biggest thing that I'm looking at, when it comes to this free agency part for the Jags is the fact that, man, we got some key decisions we got to make. You know, Devin Lloyd, is we gonna pay him top dollar as he's like one of the biggest names in free agency right now. Also Travis Etienne, we got to make a decision on him. Is we gonna sign Montero Brown? These are all guys that when you say fit the system and what you're talking about, these are key guys that made the play dividends. You
I
know what I'm
think
saying?
Montez Brown got extended.
He got extended. Oh,
I
okay,
think,
cool.
I think, I think, I think, I think so. But go ahead
Uh,
though.
yeah, okay. No, you good, cuz. And so when you look at that, man, it's just like it's a lot of stuff that we know we got to get addressed, man. I still think we need some more depth on the O line with all the shuffling and injuries and things like that we had over this last season. You know, need a pass rush. You know what I'm saying? No, we only had 7 sacks last year. No, I mean, as much as we got turnovers, but that was like a lot of simulated pressures, you know what I'm saying? Like that, quarterback hurries and things like that. But we couldn't get the quarterback down. And I think, that's something that we're gonna have to address. There's out there that's saying that, Jazz might make a play for Max Crosby, you know. So I mean, it's a lot, man. So I just think, Jaguars gonna have to come to it, make some heavy decisions. If it was me, I think you may have to let Devin Lloyd walk. I probably would try to sign Ethan, re-sign Montero Brown to a team friendly deal, um, and then from there, niggas gotta make the cards fall where they may, man. But I don't know. If we keep their Devin Lloyd. I think he's gone this year, man. They're gonna throw a lot of money at him.
Yeah. And he's probably going to he's probably going to go after the bag, and rightfully so, which would be understandable. I think for us though, man, you go out there, man, like you talking about a playmaker. You have solid players, but you also have game changers. And he was one of those dudes that was a game changer, and he would, like I say, man, he would be one of those dudes I would go after. He would be my top priority in free agency, re-signing Devin Lloyd. I understand Travis Etienne. He was a big part of the offense, but at the same time, I don't think he's going to be the focal point of the offense next season. I think we're going to roll with see what Trevor Lawrence looked like in the gunslinging role next season, and not just being the game manager. You know,
Mm.
so I think that he have a more of a workload next year. So he would be my top priority, man, and ETN would probably it would be second on that list. You know, But I'm pretty sure like it's players that we can go out there in free agency or whatnot. Don't know who's all available just of yet, but yeah, Max Crosby would be a guy that I would go after. I think sooner or later, man, we probably gonna see we gonna part with one of those guys, whether it be Josh Hines Allen or
Trayvon
or
Walker.
Trayvon Walker, you know. And like I like those two, man. They're good football players, but at the same time, man, we need an elite pass rush. You get what I'm saying? Like that's something we haven't had since Calais Campbell. And that matters, being able to get to the quarterback, you know. But and also, man, we have to re-sign Trayvon Walker as well. So, but like I say, man, Devin Lloyd would be my top priority in this offseason.
Okay, that's what's up, man. I mean, hey, it's a lot, man, with the salary cap. But I wouldn't be surprised, man, with James Gladstone in his front office, man. I won't be surprised if some draft day deals get done. I feel like we're gonna trade back into the first round some way. Gladstone, if we see a guy out there, I wouldn't be surprised we trade back into the first round, maybe late in the first round, something like that. Um, but I think we're gonna figure it out, man. Gladstone, I trust, man. Jacoby Myers deal. I think a lot of stuff that we did do in the back end of the season was stuff that they knew they was going to have to address going into the off season. So I think they kind of got a jump start in it. So man, I think we're gonna be all right though, man. Whatever direction we go, whether we keep Devin Lloyd or we let Ethan go and let LaQuint Allen and the young running backs take over. I think we're gonna be in good shape, man.
I got a question for you. Do you
What's
see a
up?
scenario that we see Jalen Ramsey returning to Jacksonville?
Man, that's a good one though, man. I mean, I think deep down, Ramsey, he talk a lot of shit about Jacksonville, but I think deep down in his heart, we drafted him. You know what I'm saying? I think he probably would want to finish his career with the Jags. I don't know whether he would retire his jersey at now. His jersey tire might be
He's
around.
not. He's
You know
not
what I'm
retiring the jersey here. He really don't talk trash about his main issues with Tom Coughlin, and he expressed
saying?
that. He said, with who was the coach at the time, Doug Marrone. He said they had a good relationship. The dudes in the front office. He said his main issues with Tom Coughlin and whatnot. And it never really was no shade throw, even on the, with the interview on the pivot. It was really never no shade or whatnot when you talking about the franchise as a whole or whatnot. But because I asked that, I think that his role had been reduced to the safety position
Right,
instead of playing the cornerback position. And Rams are playmaking in the secondary. He played everywhere. He was in Florida State. He played everywhere. When he was at the Rams, he played everywhere.
right.
His role at the Rams was similar to the role he played at Florida State. And man, and like I say, do we bring back Eric Murray? Now I know that Antonio Johnson, man, he's going to be back. You know, I know he's going to be back. So like, will Eric Murray be back? That's another question. But man, and another thing, I just hope like crazy, man. We start, man, at the cornerback one position, man.
My Travis Hunter.
Yes, I think
I
that's
think that's part
very
of. I think
important,
that's gonna
man.
have to be part of the plan, though, man. Part of the off season, bro. It gotta be Travis Hunter. Gotta be playing a lot corner, like primary corner, because you look at the offense side of the ball. Now, don't get me wrong. Teams gonna have to make some decisions when they play Jacksonville. When they got Travis Hunter, Jacoby Myers, Brian Thomas Jr. You know what I'm saying? And then Parker Washington, all four of them on the field at the same time with Brent Screen at tight end. Bro,
Right.
defense is gonna have to, you know what I'm saying? So it's like the matchup nightmares that Liam Cohen gonna be able to scheme up next year is gonna be stupid. But
Right.
like again, we don't really need Travis Hunter for that on the offense side of the ball. You know what I'm saying? He just like the top
Right.
end on. You get me? So we need him on the defensive side of the ball. We
Right.
need him.
You can put him at certain plays and everything like that there. But just as far as like man, just us trying to just force him in on the offense and whatnot, man. Like I say, man, similar to how the role was when Dion was was at the Cowboys.
Right. Right, and I think it will be like that, man. I think they want to put it. He want to play both ways, and I think they're
Yeah.
gonna give him a chance to play both ways. I was watching the interview today. Liam Cohen say, Travis Hunter looked good. They say it was his first time. This like his first major surgery ever. You know what I'm saying? They say he looked good in the weight room. If that's what he's saying. So I think we're gonna be good though, bro. On for real, man. I think the
Right.
Jazz, man, like I think we're gonna be all right going into this season. And it's just this is the first time in a long time, for Jazz fans, we going into the season with a level of optimism that hey man, we're gonna be good. We can follow up this success. But again, it gotta show up though, because we thought it was gonna be with Doug Peterson too. So I agree.
Right.
So you want to segue into the NBA?
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right, man. So as you know, man, last week trade deadline, man, it was some big trades. With the people that we thought was gonna get traded, we thought Giannis might be gone, didn't get traded. Ja Morant didn't get traded. But there were some big trades though, you know what I'm saying? Some people was on the move. Chris Paul, he ended up on, I think he's on the Toronto Raptors now. Chris Paul. Um, what's the name? He got traded to for all those picks. What's the boy name? Um,
Um,
yeah,
Talking about dang, who got
they
traded
come
for a bunch? James Harden.
who, what? Not yeah,
James
James
Harden.
Harden. Yeah, right. Yeah, James Harden. Yeah, James Harden got traded for Darius Garland. Yeah, they got traded, and then and there's a couple other picks as well, man. I think Chicago did a trade too as well.
They traded Vucevic.
Yep, they traded Kobe
So
White too.
yeah, this is my thing, right? You know what I'm
Go ahead.
saying? This is my thing, James Harden experiment, man. Like, is it gonna work this time? Because James Harden, he get on these teams, he request trades, he's out of there, you come to a team now, you ready to jump ship and leave or whatnot, you know what I'm saying? And not leaving the situation you came to better than it was when you left. You know, when people talking about some of the most overrated superstars or whatnot, could he possibly be in that conversation? And the reason why I ask that, because you look at times, when he leave teams or whatnot, a lot of times, man, the team failures came on the strength of him. If you look at OKC when they lost against the Heat, who didn't show up? And when you look at the big three, James Harden. Now granted, it was his first year. You may want to give him a pass or whatnot. But now fast forward, you go to Houston. This is your own team. You're in the Western Conference Finals against the Golden State. You got them dead to the wrong. You got Klay Thompson in foul trouble when you was going to the cup the whole game. But guess what you started to do in the second half? You kept selling for a three-pointer and you had Klay Thompson in foul trouble, shooting up bricks. You get what I'm saying? You laid down, you allowed Golden State to come back, and you had them dead to the wrong. You know what I'm saying? And this was the team he was on with Chris Paul or whatnot. So now you over there with at the Clippers. You're at the Clippers. You in Brooklyn. You know, neither time you left these teams and they gotten better. And you talking about a star athlete, a superstar. If some may consider. So, Mike, I say all that to say this. Will this be the team that he make better? We know that when you look at the Cavaliers, man, Cavaliers look like one of those teams they should have at least been in the conversation or should have at least been in the Eastern Conference Finals. They haven't made it. You get what I'm saying? So now, like I said, you have James Harden over there. You know, this is a better team. I thought they was going to be a better team when they got DeAndre Hunter. So it's like, you know, you got both of these two teams. You got well, um you got the Cleveland Cavaliers who have underachieving. You got James Harden who has been underachieving as well. But them merging together, would that make something? You know what I'm saying? Like, will they get over the hump? You know, when you bring them together, man, you get what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's crazy, man. And I have to ask these questions when it comes to James Harden because he's a superstar. You know, you don't get a pass no more. You know, you don't get a pass no more. You know, when you're going to get it together, man, and be able to be one of those guys to get your team over the hump.
For me, man, I think the biggest trade thing for me is AD. This AD trade to the Washington Wizards. They traded him, man. He was on the team for the Dallas Mavericks for one season, bro. Couldn't stay healthy, bro. So for me, you talk about is he gonna get it? For me, is AD gonna stay healthy enough to help a team win? Because it seemed
But
like that little championship dog was he would, and they were talking, and they were talking about this recently too. It was like if the bubble didn't happen, COVID didn't happen, you really think AD would have stayed healthy the 82 games that year for help them
okay,
win that chip?
but he probably would have. You know, we know AD history is being injured. You get what I'm saying? My thing is my criticism with James Harden that you're on the flow and you're not making it happen. You get what I'm saying? Some players are just plagued with injuries. They go through it their whole season. But I will say this to AD defense, when he had a chance to make it count, he made it count. You know what I'm saying? And let's be honest, like if it weren't for LeBron James, he would have got the MVP. He put up MVP like numbers or whatnot. But LeBron James was the better player on the court. So, like I say, man, when he had a chance to make it count, he made it count. You know what I'm saying? And he's on the team like AD, like, okay, prior to him leaving New Orleans. He has been he has been the Robin to the team. He has been the second option. You know, James Harden is on the team. He's the first option. He's not making his team any better. Even at the second option, AD at the second option, he made his team better. You get what I'm saying? He made his team better. So you know, that's why I'm so critical with James Harden, you know, more so KD because, like I say, man, I mean not KD but AD. When he had a chance, now granted, people want to throw shade on it because it was in the bubble, but and I said this once, I'm gonna say it again. The Lakers had the same they had the same advantages and disadvantages as any other team. And if you want to be honest, they was at more of a disadvantage because some of their players did not come back. They was without their starting point guard Avery Bradley, if we remember. You know, so when he had a chance to make it count, AD made it count. James Harden is not making it count with these decisions. Now let's see what happened with the Cavaliers, but I mean, you know, he got to tighten up, man.
I just think with AD, man, it's just for me, bro. Like, dog, when you on the court, dog, you can be one of the top five, if not one of the big. I would say top three big men in the league. But bro, you can't stay healthy, bro. And then it's like, bro, like they be needing you, bro. Like when they need you the most, dog, you go get hurt, bro. You get hurt in the playoffs. You it's like you. And so and that's why I understand why people. I thought it was funny when Charles Barkley called him street clothes Anthony Davis. I mean, dog, because he always hurt. He hurt now. He got traded hurt, bro. Like now you going to Washington. You got Trey Young, dog, and I like what Washington got going on. What they trying to build. Like but AD is the wild card piece. Like he has to stay healthy. Like bro, yeah, bro. That's all I'm saying, man. Um, you know, some other trades out there. I don't know if you knew Kristaps Porzingis got traded to the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah. Yeah, like now he has been another one that been hurt. Like I say, if I'm more critical of those guys, even though Chris Porzingis won, he got a ring, he got hurt in the finals. You know what I'm saying? Now he
Mhm.
showed up and played. He got hurt in the finals, you know.
Right.
But they just, he was just a bite out there. You know what I'm saying? They solidified they one and they number two player or whatnot. You know, he was just to me, like I say, he was there, so I give him credit for it. But AD role was more efficient than Chris Porzingis. You get what I'm saying? So it's like I'm
Right.
more critical of Chris Porzingis than AD. Even Embiid, I'm more critical of Embiid than AD. You know what I'm saying? I
I
mean,
got you.
Embiid, you supposed to be one of one of the best guys. You were supposed to be one of the best big mans out there, one of the best players in the league. Some people was looking at him and he could be the face of the NBA. You know what I'm saying? But that big man role, that's Jokic. And man, looking at this kid in Dallas, man, he's about to pass in Wembley. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's like the torch is bypassing them, these guys or whatnot. I mean, I never looked at AD and say he was going to one day be the face of the league. I guess because at the time he was in there with LeBron still in his prime, you know. Well, I can't even say I looked at I
I
can't even
never
say I look
he is face of the me lead. Me, honestly, I'll be
A-
real with you.
AD. I
Not
never
Anthony.
because that's what I'm saying. MB maybe so because he came in, little bit down the probably like a little bit down the stretch or whatnot, you know. But and probably because he was a big man, he was a center, and but yeah, though, man, yeah, man. So I'm more critical of those guys than I am of AD, man. You know what I'm saying? AD, could he need to tighten up? Yeah, go on, get it together. But at the end of the day, man, AD got a championship. You know what I'm saying?
He
And
got
he
one.
was a,
See?
and yeah, and he was one of the focal pieces behind that championship too. LeBron wouldn't have been able to do it without AD. Trust me.
And I agree. And I agree. And I ain't gonna take nothing that I just think it's just like, man, AD, bro, you going to your 415. The Dallas gave up on you. You know what I'm saying? I granted they had gave up. You know what I mean? It was like, Dallas kind of trying to build around Cooper Flag. You might not been a part of the plan. That's cool.
Right.
But like, I mean, I really want to see what 80 can do healthy, dog. That's mainly the basketball fan in me is like, hey, bro, we want to see you on the court, bro, because dog, when you play, you special, bro. Like,
Oh
dog, like,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So I think that's probably why I'm so heavy on AD, bro. But it was some other trades too, man. And I like what the Atlanta Falcons, I'm sorry, the Atlanta Hawks doing too. They picked up, they got Jonathan Kaminga, man. I think that was a nice little addition to them, boy. They got,
Right. Right.
so
He
Jonathan
wanted
Kaminga,
to trade.
yeah. So, but he
Yeah.
wanted to get traded, but I think a lot of it, dog. Honestly, I want, and I don't want, and I don't want just. I just feel like when I start going into my little sports little thinking cap, and I'm like, bro, I feel like he want to be that third wheel in between. Kind of like what Jordan Poole was kind of going through a little bit. When you're playing successful with a good veteran team and you're getting the praise, people start to talk about you, and you kind of feel like, hey, I'm better than this month. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jordan Poole felt like he should have been one of those guys that had that green light stuff. And I think Jonathan Kaminga was the same way. He want to get that green light like those guys, but you know, they
You
those Draymond, Steph, Clay, those guys, they the core. And
right.
when you try to step outside that role of what you want to be for that team, they're gonna get rid of you. And it just seemed like they got rid of him too, just like they got rid of Jordan Poole.
That's what players have to realize, man. Especially when you saying that you want to have a more efficient role on your team, but then you go to a whole nother team and you don't show up. You get what I'm saying? Sometimes players back then, man. When we first started watching basketball, they understood their role. That's why you had teams that stuck together because players understood their role. And they don't try to overstay. And you got to give credit to Scotty for this right here. You know what I'm saying? Scotty understood his role, not saying he couldn't have been that guy on another team because we seen what he was able to do in Michael Jordan's absence. He led his team to the Eastern Conference Finals and almost went back to the championship. You know what I'm saying? So we know that Scottie Pippen probably go down as the most underrated player to ever play the game of basketball. You know what I'm saying? But he stood his position and he played his position, and you got to give him credit for the humbleness he had. And a lot of players don't have that now. I don't know if it's because of the money aspect, the egos, whatever it is, but a lot of these players feel like they should have more of an important role, and then when you give them that, they can't do it on their own. Go back to James Harden. Now, granted, James Harden, he have superstar qualities or whatnot, but a lot of these players, man, they lack, leadership, man. You get what I'm saying? They lack these things, man. Leadership, having that grit, you know, um, being able to do what's necessary on their team, and this is why a lot of these guys don't is not able to get out their own way. Now could they be just chasing a dollar? Now I don't know. You know, a lot of times, man, you got to be willing to take that backseat role, man. Especially when it's like, okay, this is going to make the team better. You look at D Wade when LeBron came over there. He understood that, hey man, LeBron James is the better talent. You get what I'm saying? We know at the end of the day, it's still Wade County all day. But at the same time, he did what was best for the team. So you got to tilt your hat. Some people may feel that, oh, he shouldn't have never did that. That was a chump move, whatever the case may be. But nevertheless, what he did got the job done. You get what I'm saying? And you can never say that he's a chump or anything like that because he got it done before LeBron even got there. You get what I'm saying? So we already know who the Wade is. You know what I'm saying? We already know it's solidified as Wade County for a reason. You know, but and I say that to say this, a lot of these players, man, lack that, man, doing what's necessary for the team. It's all about me. They me first type players and not doing what's important for the team.
Yeah, man. And I think in the Jonathan Kaminga case, man, it was more so, I think that they wanted to keep him because
Yep.
Jonathan Kaminga was a piece that they want to keep. But again, like I was saying, man, I think he wanted a bigger role, more playing time. Then he got buried into the bottom of the rotation, frustration not playing. I think it was just best that I think it was best for both parties to move on. But again, like you said, man, got to do what's best for the team. And once you start getting outside of that at times and start becoming an issue in the locker room and things like that, you gotta get made do. But I want to
Because
ask you something. Go ahead.
but
Go ahead,
before
Greg.
you move, because my thing is, if you're that guy on your team, right, it's gonna show. You know what I'm saying? We seen it. We seen it with what's man at Oklahoma City Thunder.
Who you
Um
talking about?
MVP,
SGA, right? Shea Gill.
SGA.
SGA,
We
yeah.
see it.
SGA.
We see it with SGA. He was at the Clippers, and he showed Spurs like, "Hey man, I can play." We seen it. We witnessed like, damn, this dude here got skills or whatnot. We seen it. You know what I'm saying? Now we didn't think that it'd go to the level that it is right now. Him being the MVP, him winning the championship for, you know what I'm saying, for the Thunder. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying. So now, like, you know what I'm saying, we seen when the time presented himself. He waited his turn, and when the time he could have said, "Hey man, I need a bigger role on my team." You get what I'm saying? Because he was there with different players. He could have said, "I needed a bigger role," but no, he waited patiently, and when the time presented itself, you get what I'm saying, he got the job done. You know what I'm saying? So and you can say that for a lot. Look at Tyrese Maxey. He don't try to outdo Embiid. He plays position. And a lot of these guys lack that. They sit back. They don't play their position, man. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you have to learn how to be an elite role player as well, man. You know what I'm saying? In order to be a star, in order to help the team.
You're absolutely right, Greg, man. And I was just reading some of these comments that I had right here. One, I'm gonna roll back up with Gemini Smiles. She said the game is different. She said the game is different now when we grew up. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? The players now don't really. like you say, it's all about them now. You know what I'm saying? In the sense of brand and me and things like that. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And then also a comment was they all have talent, and some are good leaders and some are good teammates. Each team has about two or three good players now. I mean, yeah, it all depends on what team, super teams and things like that. But yeah. But I would say this, man, Greg. My question to you was, who is the winners and loser of free agency, man? Or is a team out there that you said after the trade they got better, or is a team you could be like, you know what, man, y'all might have, what I'm saying, with y'all tanking or whatever.
To be honest, man, it's hard for me to say. I'm trying to think. Didn't Boston pick somebody up?
Yeah, Paulson did. They went in, they went and got that they let go Anthony Simons and they got somebody, but yeah,
I don't know
he
why
I guess
Boston keep coming to me because I was watching some. I remember I was seeing a Pacific trade like, dang, that might have been the win of the whole trade, but it won't come
yeah,
to me right now. But
yeah,
like
they
off
did
back, huh?
they did go get somebody though. You right.
Yeah, off bat, I can't think of nobody right now. And for some reason, I'm thinking it might have been a power forward or somebody they might have got or a center.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, it's somebody though, but I
I
forget
think
who it is.
so. Boston is a team that I'm thinking they got a big or something like that. For some reason, that would keep coming to me. That way, you know what I'm saying? And they really didn't have much time to prepare. Been busy all day, but I really can't really say right there, like you know what I'm saying. I mean, I and much as I just criticize James Harden and whatnot, I want to say the Cavaliers. If you look at everything on paper, I want to say the Cavaliers. You get what I'm saying? But at the same time, is that the move that's going to take them over the hump? You know, when we look at it on the surface or whatnot, yeah, that it got all the, they got all the bells and whistles, the shiny pieces and everything like that to it. You know, it got the glow to it. But at the same time, and it's an old cliche, old saying, everything glitter ain't gold. You know what I'm saying? That may not be the fit for him at that team. We don't know. It could be, you know. But it's hard not to look at the Cavs and say that they were, they're not one of the winners of the before the trade deadline, with making that move right there. My only thing is this, you know, with them merging together, we'll be able to get them over the hump finally. You know what I'm saying? For both parties, the Cavaliers and James Harden.
I think for me, man, the biggest winner right now, dog, is the Boston Celtics, bro. Like you said, bro, I think what the trade they got, the addition they got, and then dog for what they'll be doing in the Eastern Conference right now with Jason Tatum, dog out, he out, Jalen Brown and put this team on his back. And they surprisingly been one of the better teams in the Eastern Conference right now, man. And for what they got in the trade, I think they really trying to make another push, man. I didn't think this year would be the year that Boston would really contend for a title because of the injury to Jason Tatum. But
Yeah,
man, they look good, man. I would say they're a winner, but I would say the biggest loser is Ja Morant.
John
I
Morant.
think Ja Morant is the biggest loser because of from what reports are that really no team really wanted to deal with him.
That I
Immaturity, stuff like that, and I think it lowered his value.
That's who they got. The Celtics got Vucevic. That's why I kept saying. I remember I kept saying. I said they got a big or something
Yeah,
like that. I said they use
yeah.
it. They got Vucevic. Man, listen, that's going to be serious with the pick and roll, man. Man, listen, that's going to be a. And then Vucevic too can spread the flow out. That's
Right.
another thing.
Shoot. He
He
can
can
shoot.
spread the flow out. He can shoot. So, they got better, man, with that trade, man. You know what I'm saying? I would have, Chris Porzingis, I wasn't really high on him. The only reason that I felt that team was, better because with the addition of Drew Holiday. I
Yep.
wasn't not big on Chris. He's a good player, don't get me wrong, but he wouldn't have got traded for defensive player of the year that they had just got rid of.
To my
No,
what's my name? Marcus Smart, right?
Marcus Smart, yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I think Vucevic was a good addition. That's why I kept thinking like, dang, who was the one? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, see, and I'm a back like now. I would go with the Celtics because Vucevic is a guy that can give you 20 and 10 a night and play and maintain his role on his team or whatnot and not get in the way. You
Yeah.
know, he can actually make this team better without getting in the way. You know what I'm saying? And so James Harden, it's like, man, we done seen it so much. Like, it looked good on the surface, but is he actually going to make them better on paper? That was the best move. That they're the winners for the trade deadline.
Right. And that's the crazy thing because now he's saying he get compete for a championship. Like nigga, you been competing for championships the whole time.
See, and that be my thing when players say stuff like that. Now you had a team when you was at Houston. You fell short at Houston because of you. OKC, the same thing. You fell short because of you. You get what I'm saying? You was at the Clippers with Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard is a proven, what I'm saying, two-time NBA, two-time Finals MVP. You know what I'm saying? Took down the Miami Heat team, you know what I'm saying? And also beat Golden State. So that's a testament to his greatness, man, when you talking about Kawhi Leonard. So we know that Kawhi Leonard is a proven winner. You know, James Harden, for you to say that, you know what I'm saying? If that was his words, hey, you out of pocket. You know
Yeah,
what
man.
I'm saying?
I'm
Now you
saying,
can compete. You've been on teams you was able to compete because you know what I'm saying? For the longest, you
no,
came in the league again with OK. You came in the league OKC. You know what I'm saying? Then you went to Houston. You know what I'm saying? Y'all formed the team over there. Then you went to Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? Then you went to the Clippers. So it's like now you had so this the fifth team you done went to, right? That and none of these teams was trash. These teams was better I mean, come on, man.
hey man,
James Harden got to look at it and say maybe James Harden is the problem and not everybody else.
and I think that's what he need after this right here. I think we clearly know who the problem is. It's James Harden, and but I mean, man, I think now with the NBA, now we at the All Star break and stuff like that. We finna start seeing what teams separate. A team that I'm very disappointed is my Orlando Magic. Man, we still sitting in the 7th seed spot right now, dog. Uh, Pablo ain't been playing good. They been leaving him wide open now. It's like his game is somewhat regressed this year. Man, I don't know, man. I think Jamal Moses might get fired, dog. I think they don't if they in the play in for a third straight year in the play in, bro. Man, dog, I think you got to make change at the coaching position, bro.
Yeah.
You spent all this money in free agency and it ain't working right now. So, but any final thoughts on the NBA, bro?
Nah.
All right, man. Let's get into our rivals and departures, man. What's your rivals and departures? You want me to start or you want to start?
You go to start.
I'm gonna start with the bad today, the departures, man. I'm gonna say that my departure for the day is, everybody around here is raving up Robert Sala coaching staff. He went and got Dabo. He went and got Gus Bradley as a defensive coordinator or whatever. However, Gus Bradley is on his staff. And I'm just sitting here like, bro, these two guys, man, I feel like they still have a lot to prove in the league right now, man. I mean, you guys had like one offset success, Gus Bradley. You only had really like success with the Legion of Boom defense. Everywhere else you've been pretty mediocre, as far as defensive wise. And it just seemed like, everybody just banking on, him hiring these experienced guys in these coaching circles. And I just think that when you look at these two guys, when you look at Dable, a guy who only had success with Josh Allen, he only had very small success with Daniel Jones at the QB. So it's just like, is these guys really going to be the fit to fix this Tennessee Titan team? I don't think it's going to work, bro. And I think this is going to blow up in Robert Sala's face, man. I don't see this guy. I don't think this. I think I don't think Salah is a good coach, bro. I'm just gonna keep. I think he's a great defensive coordinator, but I think as head coach, I don't think he's gonna do that. I don't think he's gonna do that well. So that's my departure.
Um My departure is the alternate halftime show, Kid Rock. They say, man, the halftime show sucked.
Yeah,
Oh man,
man.
I didn't even hear nobody talking about it. Well, at first I heard about it, I thought it was just propaganda. Like, okay, they're gonna put out an alter for whatever reason. I don't really know. I forgot what they say the issue was with Bad Bunny or whatnot. I don't know.
Um, well, he was a Spanish, speaking artist or whatever. And all his raps and stuff is in Spanish, and
Right.
and and I guess he had made some statements about ICE or something like that, or I don't know, man. It was to me, I thought it was. I never really
Yeah.
got into that either like that. So
Right. So but it was crazy though. But yeah, yeah, they when I saw like a clip of it on when I saw the clip of it on Facebook, I say, man, it looked like, people that like, okay, they showed up, they wanted to succeed so bad, but it just wasn't what they wanted to be. And the crowd was trying, you know what I'm saying? You
they
know
was
how like, yeah, you
trying.
know how you might have that homeboy that can't rap, but you
Uh-huh.
trying to get into it on the strum. The little words you saying it with him or whatnot, cause you gonna support your homeboy. He gonna be trash, but you gonna support him. 'Cause that's my homeboy. I'm gonna support him. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna let no everybody else know he trash. I might tell him that when you know what I'm saying. They that game up, nigga. But I ain't gonna tell the world he trash. To world he the best rapper in the world. You know what I'm saying? But it kind of showed when you seen the crowd like they supporting they trying to get into it. It didn't
Yeah.
look authentic. You know what I'm saying? Their participation didn't look authentic. You know what I'm saying? First, like you can look at Bad Bunny like, okay, I don't know none of the songs or know none of the words, but you was able to get into the halftime show. You know what I'm saying?
It
You
was a
may
good
not
cinematic thing.
right. You look at it like, okay, man, I see. Let me see where they going. They kind of got your attention a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. It was yeah. So I seen something on that today too. So it was like the halftime show had like over like I think 160 million views. They only had like less than 6 million views, dog. Like, bro,
Yeah.
like what hey, bro, what you thought, man? Like, y'all ain't gonna compete with the halftime show. That's why when I heard about it, I was like, y'all really gonna think somebody gonna stop watching the halftime show for this shit right here, bro? Like, come on, man. Like,
Right.
no. So I mean, man, but that's my that's your departure. So my rival this week, man, I'm gonna give it to the I'm gonna give it to the Seattle Seahawks, man. Winning Super Bowl 60. Uh I think they were one of the better teams throughout most of the season, man. I don't think a lot of people early on believed this in this team, but being that the Jaguars played them or seen these guys play in real time, I think we seen that they was legit team. So salute to the Seahawks for winning Super Bowl 60, man. What's your rival?
That was mine also. You know what I'm saying? That was mine also. The Seattle Seahawks, obviously the Super Bowl champs. You gotta salute them. You know what I'm saying? I guess now it's on to the Daytona 500.
Something else, man. Next big event, man. But
Oh
hey,
yeah,
it is what it is, dog.
yeah, man.
So man, we gonna get up out of here, man. Any final thoughts, Greg, man, before we close out the show tonight?
Nah, man, just appreciate everybody rocking with us, man. You know what I'm saying? Whatever site we on, you know what I'm saying? Whether you hit us up on First Class Media, Greg Meadows Jr., co-pilots on the same thing. Any social media platform, man. We just appreciate it, man.
Hey man, and if y'all see it, man, it's all our stuff is running on this running banner down below. I don't know if you knew that or not, Greg, but it's running on the banner below. You can
All
see
right.
it where it
The word
says
small, I ain't got my glasses on.
yeah, man. But you can see where it has all first class media. It got your threads. It got my threads, bro. It got everybody's stuff running down at the bottom. It's been running like that the whole show. So y'all check us out, man. Check out Greg IG. Check out Greg Facebook. Check out his socials. Check out my socials, man. And on that note, it's your boy Joe.
This your boy Greg.
I'm out. Peace.
Yep.
All right, boy, I gotta go get me something to eat, bro.
I already ate, but I went to the little rib shack.
Man, I'm about to go get me something to eat now. I gotta go cook these tenders in here now. I'm about to go get started. I got my stuff stayed out. I'm about to get on it though, bro.
10-4, 10-4.
All right.
All right. Sure, I think we're still going.
Yeah, I know head now. Oh, we go. I just ended it. Yup.